Perfect. So let's start. Good morning. I think there are around 21, 22 people who have joined us. Let me
Okay.
admit all of them. Let me admit all of them. So, yeah, we have close to 50 participants, more than 50 participants who joined for this
Can you just
session
give a
today.
quick overview to everyone?
Yeah, yes, yes. So, uh, I would request all to be on mute, please, except Archit and
Yeah. Uh, Darshan, we cannot hear you.
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you right now.
All good,
Yes.
all good. Let's start. Let's
Yes.
start. All some initial teething issues, but I believe we are now good to start with the session. As you must have seen the flyer which was sent out, election with Charcha. It had some cartoons in it and all of it. But let me start with a disclaimer. This is not a political session that we are going to indulge into. Uh, India is a secular and a democratic country, and we respect views of every individual who's joined, whether you are in favor of an X government or a Y government, whether you believe it is uh, best for the country, for the existing government to continue, or you think there is a need for change. And the idea of this particular session in general is that we should be in a position to understand what are the different situations which are lined up ahead of us, uh, and how can the markets react to the different possibilities and how we should be positioned. So we will start with the majoritarian view, that is the general consensus view, the wave that is around that the government will continue, and in that we have possibly two, three scenarios. One is a BJP clean sweep majority, which is more than 272 seats for the BJP to continue as a singular party, which is in majority, which we believe that would be supportive for the markets to continue because there'll be clarity of decision making, clarity of policies, and all of it. The second possibility is that okay, the BJP fails to secure 272, but the BJP and the NDA together, they are in a position to form a clean majority, clear majority. So those are the two scenarios in general, which will determine whether the markets will continue the rally that they've been. I would request other members to please mute themselves, and I will allow the other members to participate and ask their questions as and when we move forward into the discussion. So, Archit, let's start with the report that we had made uh, on the election, and
Yeah.
let's start with the different possibilities uh, that we had covered therein.
Can you just enable
Yeah,
the
I will
this thing
allow you to
screen sharing this thing? Yeah.
I'll make you the host.
Just a second. You're done?
Yeah, you are the host. You can share the screen.
Yeah, just a second. Just a second. I'm trying to. I hope you can see my screen. Just give me a second.
Actually, एक बार ना सबको mute कर दो यार. There's too much noise in the background.
Yeah. Having some problem sharing my screen. Give me a second. Yeah.
वेटिंग रूम में कोई हो तो ऐड उनको एडमिट कर ले.
Yeah, I've admitted. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, your screen is visible to us.
So this was the report that we had made, like the major election 2024. So this is the ideal time. I would request all the members to be on mute. Yeah. So this is the ideal approach. As the Indian election season is approaching, it is now the ideal time to identify and invest in the top performing sectors that the new government would be focusing on for the quick return. So we know that if the BJP government or the Congress government or the All India government comes in, both of them have a different manifesto, and according to them, and according to the manifesto, there would be sector specific moves that would be coming in. So this is the time we can revamp our portfolio. We can be invested in scripts, or we can be invested in sectors which could benefit and which could give quick momentum if any of the majority government comes with a good number as such. So the first thing what we'll do is that we'll analyze how the stock markets have reacted since 2004, which includes that there was a change in government. Then like there was a continuation of the same government, and then again there was a change in the new government. So we'll first look at how Nifty has reacted in the past, and then we'll go on to how the mid caps and the small caps have reacted in 2004, 2009, 14 and 19 respectively. And then at the end, we'll see how at 2024 we are currently positioned as such. So, yeah. So as you can see, in 2004, there was a change in government with an unstable government formation. Like BJP or Congress were not able to come up with a majority number. There was an uncertainty in the situation. So as you can see, there was before the election, there was a good rally that was coming in. Like the markets had moved up like around 120% as such. And when the election results came out, as there was uncertainty in the market, there was a change in the government, and the difference of the seats to reach the majority was 120 cents. So neither the BJP nor the Congress were able to form a majority as such. So at such time, the markets reacted in a very bad manner. It corrected more than 30% within 2 weeks itself. So what the stock market or the market participant doesn't want is that there is an uncertainty in the situation, because if there is an uncertainty in the situation, there is no clear majority, there would be problems making the policies as such. So in 2004, the markets reacted in a.
दही वगैरे वापरायला फ्रीजात ठेवत सकाळी फ्रीजात ते आंबट होते दिवसभर बाहेर ठेवले.
Can you just
Actually, there are a couple of members. I'm just pulling up those two members. Harshal ji and Rajendra ji, you all are continuously. I would request you all to mute, otherwise we will be forced to remove you from the meeting. Mr. Harshal and Mr. Rajendra, please, these two guys, kindly mute yourselves. Yeah,
Listen, I'll make you the host as well, okay?
We are good, yeah. Make me the co-host.
Yeah. Just enable my co-host sharing or participant sharing, Darshan. Please, I'll continue with the. Hello.
Just
hello.
Karo. Yeah, I think you are the host now.
Yeah. So in 2004, as we seen, there was a change in the government with an unstable government formation, and the markets reacted in it corrected 30% in 2 weeks. We'll go to the next thing is 2009. where there was a continuation of the same government. Again, there was no the difference in the majority. Again, there was 68, but the government was forming, the same government was forming, and market reacted in a better way. There was no uncertainty. There was euphoria in the system, and I think so. In 2008, there was a major crash, and followed by that, once the results were out, Nifty index within 1 or 2 years, it is rallied up till I think so 70%. From like 3,400, it went till 6,500. So what we can see over here, if there is a same government or there is a certainty or there is no uncertain situation, the markets would react in a positive manner. Only and only if like there is uncertainty into the system. Like if BJP here doesn't come with a pure majority, or there is a uncertain majority, then and only then I feel that there is a correction that can come into the pay raise. Or if Congress wins with utmost majority, I don't think so there could be a correction in the market. So as we can see in 2009, that there was a continuation of the same government. The markets had rallied. In 2014, there was a change in the government. BJP came up with good numbers, so there was optimism that Modi would be changing. Like since the past, like the 10 years, Congress were in picture, so there was optimism in the system, and there was a followed a change in the government, but with a good majority. So there are two possibilities: that if the government changes with a good majority, then the markets would react in a positive manner. If there is a change in the government, or the continuing government is coming up with not a good majority but with cut short numbers, then and only then the markets would react in a I think so the markets would correct irrationally. So in 2014 as well, we can see there was a change in the government, and the markets reacted around 26 to 27% as such. In 2019, the election results were out in May, I guess. We can see that the markets were consolidating in a good zone, and once the election results were out, it corrected, and then some profit booking came in. And after that, you can see there was a chart of like the markets dipped into. That was a COVID fall, so that happens in once in like I think so 10 or 15 years as such. So looking at the past history of Nifty, the only way the correction can come in is that there is an uncertain government formation, or both the parties, both the opposition and the BJP party as such, they have the equal number of shares. So even if I feel that the BJP NDA alliance, if they cross the 300 mark, I don't think so the markets would react. There would be a initial profit booking as such, if we can expect, but I don't think so the markets would correct. It would be a buy and dip opportunity as such. So these were the four charts of 2009, 4, 9, 14. Now we'll look at the chart of Nifty. How Nifty has been performing on a week-to-week basis.
To add, Archit, just to add to your observation, so I'll also just try to draw some inputs to the fact that before the 2018 change of government, what had happened is there were a number of scams, number of things which came up, which made the government lose faith in their ability to form the majority, and people really reacted to that. And we had a clean sweep majority with the Modi, Mr. Narendra Modi coming into the picture after his phenomenal work with the Gujarat state. And then there was this consensus in people that, okay, now this government, which is the UPA, which has been looting the majority of Indians, which have been involved in so many scams, etc. That's when, there was a big build-up which led to the change in government. And that's why we saw that the markets reacted positively. And we saw in the last 10 years, if you look at the grassroots level, we'll see that, yes, the government has done phenomenal work in terms of infrastructure, in terms of defense, in terms of manufacturing. So if you see the last 10 years that this government has been in place, there was an initial knee-jerk where, we were looking for a change in government, but there was optimism, there was positivity, which was adding up to it. which is why the markets really shooted up despite uncertainty of change of government. So what Archit was mentioning is that uncertainty is something that the market doesn't like. Market को क्या है कि एक discounted cash flow है, market discounts the future events, and that's how we keep adding up, earnings keep coming, and markets start picking up. But what happens is there is an uncertainty or a change of government. Obviously, the policies, the way the earlier government was working will change. So when that kind of a change happens, market doesn't like uncertainty or एक question mark हो जाता है अब ये government का focus क्या होगा. So we know that the Modi government has been focusing on the India story, the optimism, the aspirational value of Indians, the infrastructure, the defense, the manufacturing. So ये सब जो PSUs हमने देखा है, the kind of rallies. So the government has been focused on creating grassroots level changes. What happens is if this government changes, okay, obviously there'll be a big profit booking because again there is uncertainty as to what the government which is coming into the picture will come up with, what will be their policies, what will be their priorities. But let's be honest and let's just even them, the opposition knows that they are not in the run for the majority. That's why the India Alliance or India Alliance. Otherwise, there would have not been a situation where there would have been a need for an alliance of so many parties with such different political views and ideologies coming together to dethrone one man who's been working tirelessly to create that aspirational value for Indians. So I think what market has really reacted, if you see globally, all the economies are in a turmoil. If you look at all other countries, you look at the reserve banks of most of the countries, they are facing huge challenges. Whereas India has been in a sweet spot. We've had the Russia, Ukraine, we've had the Middle East turmoil and all of that. Despite that, you see the crude has went up. Despite that, we've been stable. We've had some corrections in the middle, but they've always been bought. We see that the FIIs have been selling ahead of the elections. But if you just see last 3-4 weeks ka data, we saw massive short covering by the FIIs as well. And when we talk about the FII data, we don't have to look at it in a standalone manner. We have to consider the fact that they are having option positions also. They are having stocks maybe position hai. बहुत सारे चीजें हैं. Even they are investing. They have multiple markets as opportunities. So when I look at markets or when we look at markets, we are considering what is it at the domestic level. We see the GDP numbers have been good. We see that the GST collections have been doing good. We see that the mutual fund inflows are consistently rising, which shows that there is a big positivity in terms of the sentiment of Indians and the belief that, we are here and we are here to stay for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that is where, this government, so we are not pro BJP or, pro NDA, but looking at the work that they've done, which has helped the stock markets, it is significant for us to be of the narrative that yes, if this government continues, at least the markets will be in a good space, because we've seen that over the years and we know that the policies and the things that are in place are being liked globally. And which is why, there is this positive euphoria and positive optimism. Yes, 2019 was a different scenario. There was a lot of euphoria in the system, which is why we saw that when the NDA crossed 350, 353, the exact number, when the BJP crossed 300, the markets really reacted initially. And then we had the COVID and everything. But uske baad agar aap dekhoge, you leave alone COVID, markets have done well in the last 5 years. So अभी हमारा व्यू वैसा है कि अगर ये गवर्नमेंट कंटिन्यू करेगी in majority, there might be that initial first two candles of flushing out the weak hands and taking away positions of those who've been in leverage and all of that. But the markets will continue. ये जो हम rally देख रहे हैं from 2021 to 24, this is the kind of run we'll have in the next 5 years, given the fact that there is a lot of trust in this particular government. So the only problematic situation that we believe consensusly is that if the government doesn't form a clear majority, which is that a BJP as a party should secure more than 272 seats, which is where the whole election का game है कि यार ऊपर जाएगा, नीचे जाएगा, गिरेगा, बढ़ेगा, घटेगा. So अभी हम next चीज पे जाते हैं. We look at the charts and we try to understand how the build up is ahead of the event, and we will also compare it with the state elections and how the markets reacted to it, so that you have a comparative understanding of how the market can react, because markets will react the way it has historically more often than not. So history repeats itself is a statement which is true for the markets. Yes, with its own share of where we are, what are the facts. So Archit, you can take it forward from here.
So we'll first look at the weekly chart of Nifty. So what we can see over here is Nifty has been consolidating since, I think so, the 26th Feb. It has been consolidating in this particular range. Last week only it tried to broke out the 22,500 mark. It went till 23K as such in futures, and this week again there was a retest, or you can say that the people have booked their profit before the big event has come in. So the only problem here is like last till the time Nifty was at 22,400, people were happy with it. People were they were certain that the BJP government, or there were like a pure majority would come in. It went till 23K, and this particular candle, everyone started that the markets has been losing strength, but it is just a game of psychology as such, I feel. So right now Nifty is retesting this particular zone, and before any major event, definitely the market would be at a crucial junction as such. It would not get carried away as such. So this particular candle was just a reaction that the traders or the investors or any other institution as such have booked their profits or have something in cash as such. But if we look at the overall trend of Nifty, what we can see over here is whenever we look what the primary trend of Nifty is. I have to mute some people. Just give me a second. Muted all. Darshan, I'll unmute you. Yeah. Yeah. Darshan, you can unmute yourself whenever you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the weekly chart, as we can see, if we look at the primary trend of Nifty is on the upward. So whenever the markets are in a primary trend, we need to look at the major levels, that even if the profit booking level comes in, till what levels the market can come down. So as we can see, Nifty has usually like the 30-week moving index is a very strong zone that the markets would revert at from these particular level. As we can see, like here the 30-week moving average was near 21,400. The markets reverse thrice from 21,700 levels. So in case there is a profit sharing scenario in the market, as the overall chart of Nifty is in a pure uptrend, this is the, I think so, for me, that if market comes near like 21,000, there is a profit sharing. 21,700 is a good level where you can enter in again if there is a pure majority, or if BJP comes with a good majority, considering that there is some profit booking in case. Apart from that, I don't feel that this the 22K level should be broken if there is a pure majority. And once this particular zone, like the 23K mark, is crossed, we can definitely see that the markets can go till 25, 26K, as we have seen in the past that the markets have reacted like 20-30% growth in the index. We can see in the next couple of years as such. So the overall trend of Nifty is positive. The overall chart structure is positive. The major important thing, like you can ignore all the noise. You have to just look at what the primary trend of the market is saying, and whenever Nifty breaks out from a big range as such, as you can see, Nifty was hovering from 18,000 level till 18,600 level, but once this level had like 18,900 levels, it had broken out. It did not give a chance for the participants to jump into the market. It went till like 20K, it again came back to retest near the 30-week moving average, and now the rally has started as such. So we expect from the chartical perspective that the overall trend seems to be healthy, and we can expect like a good growth over the next few quarters as such, considering there is a major like the government is coming with a good majority as such. Now we look at the mid cap and the small cap index as such, how they are functioned. So we look. This is the weekly chart. Again, on the weekly chart, we can see that the mid cap and the small cap here, the overall trend is to the upside. It is respecting the support and the resistance principles. Like the resistance is becoming the support. We can see two long wicks over here, which includes that there is like there was a shakeout of the weak holders. And currently, the last week it had broken out, and currently it formed a retest of the particular last week high candle. So we'll look at the daily chart, and on the daily chart as well, we can see the mid cap and the small cap index is in the formation of a higher high and a higher low kind of a formation, which again constitutes that it is an uptrend. The second thing over here is you look at the 30-day moving average, or you can change it to a 50-day moving average, where you will have a demand zone as such, not as a particular amount, but if you see,
There's some disturbance.
I think so. 41 port level, because the 30 and the 50. Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me, Darshan? Hello.
Yeah, now it's proper. There was some distortion, but now you're good.
Now it's proper. Okay. So again, what I was saying is on the daily chart, if we see the 30 and the 50-week, 50-day moving average, it is acting as a support zone. So whenever we look at the support, it is not one particular level, it is a particular zone. So we can make a channel from at what particular levels. If the mid cap and the small cap index falls, or there is a profit booking and stake, you can pull in money. So the level of 41,400 to 42,100 levels, like there is a correction of 1,000 points in the mid cap index because of the profit booking. If it happens, you should look to buy at these particular levels. Now, what we'll do is we look at the charts of how the markets have reacted in 2009, 2014 as such. So in 2019 as such, I think so, the results were declared in this particular week. I'll hide this one. So 2019 April, and yeah, this particular day, I think so in 20 May
अच्छा थोड़ा डिस्टॉर्ट हो रहा है, थोड़ा नेटवर्क थोड़ा जा रहा है.
was the day of they were out. I 2009 at my the same internet connection, and then I start again. Okay.
हाँ, just एक बार check कर ले.
हाँ.
So meanwhile, तो हमने जो सिचुएशन अभी तक डिटरमाइन या एनालाइज या जिस पे चर्चा की है, वो था कि एक मेजॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट. सो व्हाट हैपेंस,
थोड़ा इशू है.
जब कोलिशन में गवर्नमेंट आई है तो काम नहीं हुआ है, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन देयर इज अ कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट, 2 or 3 or 4 parties in the alliance, when we talk about the entire coalition itself. So there are different ideologies, different motives of different political parties which come together to form majority to be in power. So the race is for power, the race is not to create an impact as such. So coalition is where, the markets will definitely react in a very adverse manner. And yes, there have been reports by the Morgan Stanley and a lot of institutions which suggest that if this government doesn't continue, we can see falls as severe as 40% or 35%, whatsoever. So, ठीक है, euphoria hai, people will try to make fancy connotations and all of it. But we have to stay rational. We have to understand how the markets have been building up. What is the real driving force behind the markets? And I want to highlight a fact that we have to understand that markets बड़े हैं, levels 14,000 15,000 वाला आज 23,000 के इंडेक्स पे है हम लोग. कोविड लोज से अगर कंपेयर करोगे, so it's a massive 3x in the last 3 years. But you have to understand that the earnings have picked up. If you see the base GDP growth ले लो, कोई भी data ले लो, you take GST collections into account, which shows the strength of the domestic economy. Those earnings, all the companies which have been delivering the results, earnings have grown. So Nifty is trading at a reasonable PE. It is not that we are trading कि खाली भाव बढ़ा है, earnings नहीं pick up हुए हैं. So it is not a mad rally. It is not a rally just of the bhav. It is also backed by fundamental aspects, and that is where we have a bullish bias in the markets, because the primary trends are up. We see that the domestic economy is doing well. We see that the general consensus is that this government will continue, and there is maybe a very slight chance that we might not have a situation where at least the BJP and the NDA will be in power. So only and only then the view changes and the view becomes bearish. So अगर stop loss की बात करते हैं अपन, तो Archit is mentioning about the 30-week moving average, but I tell you 270 is the stop loss that you have to keep in mind. If the NDA doesn't secure 270, that's you have to exit all your positions that day. That's as clear and as simple as that. So the stop loss is really not in terms of a level on index, but it is on whether a clean majority can be achieved. So that's the only view that I have, which is a personal view, and I reserve my rights to go wrong on that aspect. But looking at how this government has been focusing on the economy and the growth of India in terms of aspirational value of every Indian to try and, so अगर हम ये rally भी देखते हैं ना, so we have to understand that this started with सबका साथ सबका विकास. So everybody thought it's a jumla and all of it, and there were a lot of criticism also by a lot of stupid people in and around. So that has been there, but you have to understand what is this whole thing about sabka saath sabka vikas and make in India and all of it. So you have to understand that before 2014, or if you see 15 years from 2010 तक का बात ले लो आप. So Indians, if you look at the mix, so most Indians were in the below, what do you say, you have the poverty line, then you have the lower middle class and the upper middle class, and then the rich class. So most Indians were in the lower middle class kind of a segment, where we were concerned about agar you look around and you up metropolitan cities वगैरह छोड़ दो, most of the India, rural India was agrarian. कल क्या होगा उसके ऊपर ज्यादा लोगों का फोकस था. देयर वाज मोर कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग, और हमारे भविष्य का क्या होगा, या we should spend on the kids education. वो if you see before 2000 also, so we've secured independence in 1947 after a lot of struggle. We've been drained by all the previous rulers and all of it. British has drained away, and then we see that India has secured independence. The journey 47 to 92 का जो journey था, it is a journey of survival. 92 when India opens up its gate, liberalization, globalization, all of that happens, there is a shift. Below poverty line से above poverty line, lower income, lower middle class. Then you see 2014 onwards with this government, the clear focus has been on betterment of lives of those who are below poverty line, uplifting them, who have been in the lower middle class, जो कल के लिए डेली सर्वाइवल के लिए स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, उनकी लाइफ्स कैसे बेटर कर सकते हैं. We see UPI is now everywhere across India. It is not just a thing which is limited to Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, Kolkata. नहीं है. It is pan India. So you see that the focus has been on uplifting the lives of every Indian. Yes, people may have opinions whether we've been successful or not, whether there is the rich are becoming richer, the poor are remaining poorer. वो सबके thoughts हो सकते हैं, सबकी opinions हो सकती है. But हम data देख रहे हैं. Data suggests that there is an aspirational shift. People want to achieve things. We see the global spotlight पे हैं हम, which is because there is a shift from the lower middle class to the upper middle class, which is where if you take China, if you take US, any country, that bull run, when there is a shift from lower middle class to upper middle class, aspirational values, aspirational dreams of those citizens, the kind of sectors that run, the kind of bull markets that have, because क्या होगा, अभी जब हम सिचुएशन में है, यहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं कि न्यू इंडिया इज अहेड ऑफ अस, टॉकिंग अबाउट 2047 डेवलप्ड इंडिया. सो वी नो दैट यहाँ का जो जर्नी है ना, the next 20 years, 25 years, it's a mad bull run. The only problems is that, execution. And I believe that this government has the potential to execute, which we've seen over the years. Now things can change because it is politics and all of it. So I will not comment much on it. But looking at how the markets are shaping up, we are factoring in the new India, the India that is dreaming, the India that is looking to achieve and looking to grow. अगर आज मैं देखता हूँ कि जो बंदा suburbs में रहता है, या let's say who's not in Bombay, even those guys have dreams to make it big, and they have the opportunities today because of the kind of infrastructure and the ecosystem which has been pushed in the last 10 years. And if they've been able to do it in 10 years, another 10 years, if these policies remain, I don't say that the name remains or not, but if these policies continue and the execution happen that day, the way it's been happening, yes, we are in a mad and massive bull run. A lot of money which is going to come to India, a lot of money which is to be made by the investors who are sitting here. We have to believe in ourselves. And if we do that, and if every Indian, so I was attending one of those sessions recently. So they added one more aspect, ke sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas. So sabka prayas is the aspect which is, whether this government continues or not, is going to be the differentiator, whether India continues to remain a developing country or we become a developed country. It is every Indian who's sitting has to believe that, we have to do something, and we have to do something for ourselves and our nations. And I think that sense of aspiration has come into the picture, and which is why the markets have reacted the way it is. And अपना एक economy ऐसा है, you compare it to with Japan or anything, we see that economic success or economic milestones that we unlock reflects in our stock market. That doesn't happen in a lot of countries. So when we see that the economy is doing well, whether you say it's an organized economy is doing well, जो unorganized sector है, they're not doing that well. So this is your chance. अगर आप आज एक small and medium business owner हो, let's say for example you're having shops, and you see that e-commerce is taking over, and you see that the big players have emerged, and the smaller people don't have. तो एक ये notion है business वालों का कि हमारा जो business था कांग्रेस के टाइम पे, वैसा आज के तारीख में business नहीं है. ठीक है, although if you look at absolute numbers, the numbers have only improved, but there is this sense of notion that the organized sector is doing well, the unorganized sector is not doing well. But if you look at markets, we see the market cap, we look at the composition, it is all about the organized economy. If you see the GDP contribution, you see the GST contribution, it has to come from those who are big. So अब जो business owners है, जो small and medium enterprises है, what is their way out to fight this battle of organized versus unorganized? It's the stock market. If you know that this is how the policies are in place,
आदि के सिल्वर
this is how So if that is the view, and that is where अगर आप मोदी जी को वोट दे रहे हो या नहीं दे रहे हो, whatsoever the reasons is, if that is the notion, stock market is your biggest hedge. If you're not invested in an organized market which is doing well, when you yourself know that the organized economy is going to do well, the organized sector is going to do well, you have to be invested, whether it be mutual funds, whether it be direct equity, but आपका exposure equity की तरफ रहना ही चाहिए, because we are, and charts पे भी दिख रहा है, and the numbers, the data also suggest that the economy is going to do well. There is an aspirational shift, and that is where a lot of money will be attracted by India, because it is one of the biggest markets in terms of. Just a second.
that time. So yes, so I think so now my internet connection is better. So what I was looking at is the chart of Nifty mid cap index. तो जो पहले वाला like current mid cap index का आप देखेंगे like 2009 वाला तभी एक you can see there was a downtrend in place, and there was a current like that there it was making lower high and lower lows 2009 2019 के इधर. And if we compare here right now the mid cap index is making a series of higher high and higher lows. So तभी जभी the mid cap index was making a lower high lower low, the charts were indicating that that already एक downtrend चल रहा है. Although Modi government had come in, thoda rally kiya, and then again it fell down. There was a profit booking in place, and currently, like even if the majority government comes in with the good numbers, the chart structure it is showing that there is a strength in the market, that the stock market or the chart are making a higher high and higher lows. The previous lows are not getting like rejected as such. So this was the 2019 वाला. 2014 वाला देखेंगे तो 2014 में again it was making a lower high lower low kind of a formation, but here the stock market it like the chart structure it broke out from a good consolidation zone. So as you can see over here in the 2004, I think so ये May का series रहेगा, and once it broke out from the 7,500 mark, Modi government, it was a euphoria in the system. 7,500 say approximately, I think so it went till 11,000 11,600, and look how quick the rally was. Here again the stock like from the chart we can sorry, yeah, mid cap. तो चार्ट के बेसिस पे अपन देखेंगे ऑलरेडी निफ्टी मिड कैप इंडेक्स ने एक इन्वर्टेड हेड एंड शोल्डर पैटर्न से इधर ही ब्रेकआउट दे दिया था फ्रॉम द मार्च सेक्टर, तभी इलेक्शन का जब चालू आ रहेगा. एंड वंस द अनसर्टेनिटी वेंट अवे it quickly went from 7,400 level till 11,000. So how quick the rally was here, you should see that the chart structure was breaking out, like there was a good bullish consolidation that was in formation in 2014. Now we'll go to the 2009 wala structure. So again, in the 2009 structure, I feel this was the April. So I think so in May or June, there was a breakout in the system. There was a again there was a downtrend formation till 2000. This was I think so in 2008 crash. There was a downtrend, and once this government had formed in, again there was a change. The continuation in the government, the chart structure it broke out from a double bottom kind of a formation, or again you can say it broke out from a good consolidation zone. And once the uncertainty went away, the mid caps and the small caps again from 3,800, we can see a quick rally till around like 8,000 levels. So this is how the chart structure or the mid caps and the small caps have reacted in the past. Currently, there is no there is the current in the current scenario there is no downtrend in place, which again helps us to understand that the primary trend is strong, and the chart, if the government comes in with a good majority, we are going to see a 20-30% rise in the index in the next few quarters as such. So these were the chart of the mid cap. I think the small cap would react in again the same manner, but we'll still see how the small cap index is forming. So on the weekly chart, we can see, yeah. So I can see a inverted head and shoulder or a HNS continuation pattern as such on the weekly chart. If we look at the daily chart, we'll get a clear this thing. This is the left shoulder, this is the right shoulder, and this is a head. Again, there was a good rally from now, like from 11,500 level till 15,000 level. It has consolidated well enough from like the Feb 7 till now. So after like from Feb onwards, the mid caps and the small caps, very selective stocks are be moving, and only the index stocks have been moving. Like if we see key markets have reached the 23K mark, But if you have if your portfolio is consisting of small caps and the mid caps, it has not performed well in the last quarter as such. It is because of this reason that the small cap and the mid caps have been consolidating as such, and only a selective few stocks are moving, which is helping, which doesn't show the real, I think so, real picture of the small cap and the mid cap. So here, what we can see that the small caps and the mid caps have consolidated for a while. It just needs a push. The chart structure is strong currently of the last one quarter as such. And once this particular mark of 16,000 level is broken, I guess we can see a good rally in the small cap index as well. So these were the chart of the mid cap and the small cap we have discussed. We look at some of the stocks that we had picked up. We had posted this report. So these were the major sector we had kept in our mind, considering the current government comes in. So the major sectors are auto, power, infra, some defense sector stocks as well. So we have a list of around 8 to 9 stocks, where the major, if it is basically on the sector analysis as well as basis on the chart. So as you can see, Ashok Linen, it has broken out from a multi-year breakout setup. The chart structure is good. It had formed a cup and handle pattern. It broke out from the 200 level. So once there is a major breakout, like once any stock breaks out from its monthly high, once the consolidation it breaks out from a big consolidation, we see a quick 20 to 30% return in the next few quarters as such. So Ashok Linen was one. Adani Power as well. We can see Adani Power has broken out last week. It had a support level of 575 to 585 levels, and currently it has reached the upside level of 800 levels. But if I feel that if the current government comes in, the structure is good and we can see some quick returns out of it. The third stock was NCC. So I'll just look at the chart. NCC, again, a stock which is breaking out from its all-time high. Adani Enterprise is a good stock which has been consolidating since this particular fall of 2013 as such. So once it crosses the 3,500 mark, we can see a good momentum here. HAL is one of the stock which is in the defense sector. Again, the charts are looking good. The volumes have been picking up since the last few weeks as such. So again, this is one of the stock, if it corrects or if it comes near the support level of 30, just make a 30 or the 40-week moving average in HAL or any of these stocks as such and try to buy at this particular level. HCC is again a stock in the infrastructure. So the results were a bit disappointing as such, but over the next few quarters, I feel there is a turnaround in the charts, what I can see. So the company fundamentals should follow as well. And the next three picks are NHPC. NHPC is one of the strongest setups as such. It has quickly moved from 97 to 110 levels. BEL is another stock which is in the defense sector, and Vinlas Biotech is again a stock which is a portfolio pick as such. So these were the stocks that we had discussed in our report. We had published on 20th May as such. But there are numerous opportunities still which we can focus on, and I think so, which we can discuss that if the current government comes in, what sectors would be beneficial as such. I feel that the current government focuses on the power, infrastructure, defense. So if we pick stocks in this particular these particular sectors, we can get good returns out of it. So these were the picks, I think. So Darshan, what do you feel? What are your picks on this thing?
I think अपन ने जितने अभी stocks cover किए हैं in this previous report and also on the various communities etc. they've done well. Overall, if you look at the charts are good. Yes, there will be those odd couple of weeks where there'll be flush outs, but I think the current setup जो है, even the way the number of expiries, every day is an expiry, every day
Right.
is volatility hai, VIX is high. So we should be prepared for some volatility. But I think once the results are out, there will be a clear direction. Charts are showing that they are waiting for that big breakout.
Particular push, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of few days. Monday or Tuesday को तो result आ जाएगा. So we will have a clear mandate is what my view is. And I think 400 or not, 400 पार होगा नहीं होगा, it really won't bother the markets that much, because they are not, see, markets are not reflecting your politics. Markets are reflecting your economy, and economy is driven by policies of the government, the sectors that they are pushing, and I think the markets have liked it. That's why the markets are trading. अगर अपन आज भी देख रहे हैं तो all time high से hardly less than 0.5%
Yeah,
away.
right.
So I am sure that the build-up is good. And yes, there might be some profit booking. जैसे अभी ये quarterly results में हमने देखा है कि अच्छे results को correct किया है, punish किया है. But there is also a fact that whenever we've seen some flash outs, you see railway stocks, when we had covered initially that now it's the time to stay away from the euphoria, we saw 25-30% correction in railway stocks, be it RVNL, be it Titagar, सब weekends का माल
Mazda, yeah.
गिर गया और उधर से वापस नए हाई आए. We saw Titagar reaching back to almost 1400 levels. So it's been one of the picks which was trading and hovering at around 130, 140 for most part of my career, where I've been tracking Titagar wagons. And only in the last 5 or 4 years or 3 years, with this government's focus on the railways, we saw 10x kind of wealth creation. So investing is about patience. Investing is about staying invested in stories, and it might take some time at times for the stories to play out. But if you have the conviction and if you have the patience, I think a lot of money is to be made. And keep a 5-year view. My only advice would be that you need to keep a long-term view on the markets and on the India growth story, because I think the time is right for a lot of global funds to move us out from the Southeast Asia funds. We should have an India fund. We will definitely have India-focused funds coming up, and a lot of money will come into India. Yes, uncertainty here. People think we've rallied a lot and all of that, but I think 21,500, 21,800, those are the levels where we will, if at all we have an opportunity, we will certainly push in more money. 20,000 एक बहुत strong support है, वो टूटना मुश्किल है. Even if you look at from a percentage terms, trading at somewhere 22,600. On the downside, we have 2,000 odd points, which is worst case situation where we have a big profit booking or something. So 10% भी नहीं है downside. If you look at it in terms of wealth creation, if you are willing to put money with knowing that there is a drawdown of 10, 12, 15% at a portfolio level, which might happen in the worst event, but the upside is unlimited. And I think we've been compounding at around 12 to 13% year on year. But I think I think Modi ji tweeted today, and it's only a trailer with my first 2 terms. So let's hope for the best. I think let's not make it a political situation. But yeah, if the policies the way they've been continuing, if we continue, I am sure that a lot of money is to be made. I am most certain that India is the best place to be in right now. And we can debate on the valuations and all of it. But just the strength of the domestic economy, पैसा वही बनता है जहाँ पे strength हो. If you stay invested in weakness, trying to buy at support, you don't know how much you have to wait. So we are bullish, we are invested, and we are looking forward to the election event and then the rally which is supposed to follow after that. Budget will be another major event. But yeah, if you're planning to push in new funds, I think अगर इतना सबर कर लिया है तो wait and watch करो. Better opportunity मिलेगा entry करने का, तो we will definitely consider those entry levels. For our clients also, the bigger clients, the HNI clients, we have kept some cash component in the system, just in case there is an event where the markets see some profit booking. I will not say correction or sell off, because we've seen over the last 3 years that jab market gira hai, it rose back with double the might, and we expect that to continue just because the market, the numbers are following up. So I think fundamentals are catching up in even the companies which we are covering. So it's a good time to stay invested in my view. And if you have new money to push in, keep it. अगर chance नहीं मिलेगा, we will add again on retest. At some point there will be profit booking, there will be retest of important levels, तब पैसा डालेंगे. But whatever you are invested, stay invested, and there is a good chance that you might see some good upside post 4th till budget. So we are
And I feel
wishing
like the
all our
numbers.
investors and all the audience the very best for the few weeks which are going to follow, and stay in touch. Archit is here. I think one of the best guys to be in consultation with in terms of the market views and the insights, the network. I think those are the key differentiators. See, analysis is one aspect. You can analyze a hell lot of things, but to have seen the cycles, to have been invested on a big capital, to have managed a number of people, those are the key differentiators. A couple of quarters here and there, एक महीने में ऐसा रिटर्न आ जाता है कि you trade the entire year and are not able to generate. So trading versus investing has its own fair share of being patient. And I think if you have the patience, if you have a holistic, bullish view on the Indian economy, I think markets are the place to be in, and you have to be invested. Be it whether you want to be invested via us, direct equity, PBS, mutual funds, जो भी method हो, but stay invested is what I will leave as a take back for you. And
Is market safe to invest?
chalo.
Yes, I think so. We are good to go.
Excuse me.
You want to take some questions?
We can take some questions as such.
Questions, views, opinions. Request you to please unmute yourself one by one.
One by one, I hope.
जो भी आया है हुए कर रहा है उसको
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, we move.
Excuse me.
अरे